Hi, welcome to the F1 Time Portal, a Formula One history podcast started by two Formula One enthusiasts. I'm your host, Rosa.
And I'm your Do Your Maker host, Luigi. And today we're taking you back to the 1973 season, part one. So let's go. I stumbled.
You stumbled over that one, Luigi.
I know. It's because it's not written right. It's
no.
D''YER, M''KER.
Yes, I did notice that in the notes when I opened up these notes to review them, and I thought, did Luigi do that on purpose, or is he left out letters? What's going on there?
It's what it's called, and it caught me out. But that's a Led Zeppelin song.
Oh, there you go.
Let me just double check that because I'm a big Led Zeppelin fan as well.
Yeah, okay. Wow, the Beatles and Led Zeppelin.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Led Zeppelin, it's on there. It's a good song. And it was released, obviously, in 1973.
There you go.
A very important year in the history of everything.
Everything, especially Formula One.
Yes. Everything meaning me.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
This is my year. You had your year last year.
Yeah.
Yours was last year, wasn't it?
Mine was last year. Yes, I'm a 72. You're a 73. I know we've now given away our age, Louis.
Yeah, that's right.
Everyone thought we were really young, but
because of our cool young voices.
Yeah, that's right.
We could start using young people terms, and then
we could.
Yeah,
then they'll go try hard losers.
Yeah.
Okay, so 1973. I found this season interesting to read about, actually.
Yeah, and I don't want to give too much away.
No.
Other than it's a bit of a topsy-turvy season.
It is. Yes, it is.
And it's unfortunately not a happy season.
No, there's some bad things that happen in there. And, but look, more and more it's starting to sound and look like the Formula One that we know today as well.
Yeah, but there's some things that happened this season that mirror what we have today. And it's when Formula One shows the historical stuff.
Yes.
They don't go this far back.
No, they don't.
They should.
Yes.
They go straight to they normally go to although when I say they don't go this far back, they skip the 70s. They normally go the 50s.
50s.
To show Fangio and the Mercedes, probably because there's a Mercedes team now.
Yes.
And then they sort of jump to the 80s. you know?
That's right. Exactly. So, the 70s is and this year was interesting. So, How do we let's go. Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, so 73, as is the case with business that's growing, it started with fights over starting money and prize money between the constructors, the F1 Association, and the new organisation formed by the circuit owners called Grand Prix International.
Oh, does that still exist, that circuit owners?
No, I'm surprised they didn't get their act together, did they?
No. Well, they very nearly canned the whole format, the whole formula nearly fell, it just nearly got deleted from the whole thing.
You mean like a breakaway series or something?
Well, it would have been a breakaway series driving under what I've read termed a free formula, which I don't really know what that means. I guess it means everyone could just do their own thing.
You know what it sounds like to me? It sounds like, imagine you got a whole lot of teenagers rebelling against the teacher.
School,
okay, you run the classes.
Yeah, that's right. Today for maths, we're going to eat lollies.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what this sounds like to me.
Yeah. But eventually they agreed on a system and the 15 races for the season went ahead. But it was really, really late. I think a lot of the prep, and I think we'll hear that later on, but some of the prep for some of the races didn't happen until quite late. So, yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. What would have been interesting to see is all I can say. It would have been entertaining.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So one major change this year was that all drivers would have to do a full warm-up lap before the race started. So the dummy grid procedure is out.
Yes.
Yeah. And
good, because that was weird.
Yeah, so that's what we see today in Formula One.
Yes.
The good old classic warm-up lap and then bang, off you go. And this is the thing that really blows me away. We see the intervention, or not the intervention, I don't know if that's not the right word, but the introduction of a safety car. So I don't think it was officially introduced until 1993.
Wow, that's late. Like 93 sounds late
Yeah, that's when they
for the
decided.
official. Yeah.
Yeah. But they had intermittent safety car, it
Yeah,
seems.
okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do see that happening this year. And like we said, there are some pretty tragic accidents. So I'm not surprised that they decide to bring it in.
But and that, funnily enough, in those accidents this year, they don't bring that. I don't recall
No,
hearing about a
I think
safety car.
I think it's because of those accidents that it is introduced, and it's interesting. Yeah, yeah. Like I said, it's looking more and more like today's Formula One. So,
Yeah.
there were other.
I was going to
Go
say one
on.
other thing. My view on safety car
Oh
is,
yes, oh
yeah, I
yes.
had to go on
Luigi's view on safety car. Come
the,
on.
the name. They should rename it to strategy car because that's what most, especially in the mid 2020s,
Yeah,
even earlier,
yeah,
safety car was considered a strategy car. Someone will go off, let's run our tires as long as we can until we get the opportunity to change them under safety car.
yeah.
And it's a
Save lots
strategy.
of time. I know.
Yeah. And I ethically, I'm against tire changes during
Me
safety
too.
car.
I was just about to say that. I reckon you shouldn't be allowed to change tires on. Look, but I've got like that's only one change that I've got for Formula One
Yeah,
strategies.
there's a big list.
There's a big list, and that the tire strategy and tire selection is also another area that I want to change. But anyway,
Yeah,
that's for
yeah.
another podcast.
Yeah. Okay.
So there were other changes on the grid for this year as well. So there were lots of new chassis developed for Tyrrell and McLaren and Brabham and Williams. So he's got his own chassis this year rather than he was using a March one, remember? But we're not going to go into too much of that detail because, well, we're not technical people. And it's like a lot of like little technicalities around all of that stuff.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
yeah.
But I guess it just shows a degree of the seriousness that he's no longer
That's
buying a
right.
chassis. He's building his own because you know what? He
Yeah.
thinks he can do it better.
Yeah, and all
That's
the
what it
teams,
comes down to.
yeah, and really the seriousness of all the teams now, like actually having like a development program and
Well,
yeah,
and it's seen as having an edge over your competitors.
yes,
Because
that's
I've got a car no one else has got, and if it's got an edge,
Yes.
I'm the only one that has it. Whereas if the March has got an edge, well, I'm the same as all the other ones.
exactly.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
right.
Especially when this
Yeah.
era when they all mostly had Ford Cosworth engines, so you needed a point of difference.
you needed
right?
something exactly.
yeah.
Yeah.
So a couple of other very interesting developments is the debut of Mr. James Hunt with Hesketh. Yeah, he had a very successful F2 and F3 career with an eccentric millionaire called Lord Hesketh, and Lord Hesketh decided to move up to F1 in '73.
Well, he is worth talking a little bit more about James Hunt because like he becomes quite a big figure in the 70s. And a lot of people think of the 70s and think of James Hunt and Nicky Lauda, I reckon. They're the two that become big in the 70s. So he didn't start racing until he was 18 and he gave up like he was going into medical school, Luigi. And he he was about to go into medical school to become a doctor and he quit because he went with his mate to a Goodwood and he was able to get in a car and race and he just got the bug. And he quit medical school and his family didn't support him and he went to be a race car driver. And yeah, he didn't get any financial support from his family and he struggled for many years in F2 and F3 financially to the point where I read a story where he had to go and steal petrol out of someone else's car to get home because he had no money to get home.
Good on him. I didn't know that, to be honest, and that really makes me respect him a lot more.
Yeah,
he had to go against the grain, go against his family.
Yeah. So there were some really interesting stories there, and I don't know whether we'll go into that much detail, but yeah, to the point, like I said, he was at a racing meet, and he for some reason he didn't get paid his starting money. He was a bit of a hothead, so something must have happened. And then he had to go steal petrol out of someone's car. So, yeah, he was very lucky to team up with Lord Hesketh.
Yeah, what is it? He was hot-tempered.
Yeah.
He earned the nickname Hunt the Shunt.
Yes, he got the nickname Hunt the Shunt. That's right. I didn't know that. I didn't know he was Hunt the Shunt. But like a lot of the stories about him are him getting into like physical altercations with people, especially early
Yeah.
on. He was a bit of a hothead. He was a very excitable person.
And this isn't giving too much away, but I'm looking forward. This is the beginning of the Hunt versus Lauder era. So it's nice. It's a bit like this brings back memories of the Hill versus Clark era, like
Yes,
the
yes.
beginnings of it. So we're not giving too much away when we say that, because a lot
No,
of people listening to this may have heard of
yeah.
Ricky Lauder, because he passed away not too long ago. I think
No,
21.
that's right. Yes. And he, like you say, there's a very famous incident involving Lauder, which I think most people who are Formula One fans would know about.
And we'll get to that. And
Yes.
I was going to mention one other quick thing about Hunt, which I didn't remember, because obviously those of you that have heard us talk about this podcast, I read these Mike Lang books many times when I was a teenager. I forgot that Mike Lang loved James Hunt.
Oh, really?
Because
He's English, Luigi.
I know, but he doesn't love all English people, because
No.
remember that race when it was Jim Clark and Graham Hill going to Britain in 63?
5?
No,
Oh,
60 or 63 British Grand Prix. And he made the comment. Now, remember, this is funny. Graham Hill was a 62 champion, British. And he made a very full-on comment. He said, all the British fans were there to see Clark win the race. I was like, hey, what about the other British driver that's the defending world champion?
yeah. He sort of let his guard down there, didn't he?
Yeah, it was
Mike
very
Lang?
funny. I loved it when he dropped the
Yeah.
ball. Yeah. But the other interesting development that I don't think we'll spend too much time on them is the embassy team started by none other than Mr. Graham Hill.
Is that because he lost his drive with Brabham and couldn't get another seat and didn't want to retire yet, Luigi?
Yeah,
Like,
I know. That's
like
pretty much
that's
it. That's pretty
yeah.
much it. I mean, it's, I don't know if I feel it's sad or not, or if he's not reading the room, but 1968 is not that long ago, and he won the championship in 68.
Yeah,
So,
I know. But he was never he had that massive accident where he broke his legs and he was never really the same after that. And like he's been jumping from team to team to team now. You're right. He's got to read the room. I don't know that. I mean, I was surprised that he actually raced in the 70s. Like, I really thought that he stopped racing in the 60s.
well,
And
remember
when
he
you
got
said,
it. Yeah.
when you said to me, no, he keeps going like well into the 70s, I was like, what? How?
Yeah. He probably saw Jack Brabham winning races and Denny Hulme winning races well into their 40s, and he thought, why not me? But I think the leg breaking thing didn't help.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but he kept, like, the stopwatch never lies, and he was always at the back of the grid.
Yeah, I
You know,
know.
so
I know.
didn't he? Yeah,
And we, like you say, we don't really talk about the embassy team or even Graham Hill a lot in this
no,
season because he just is nowhere. Like
yeah,
I don't know. We'll have a look at how many points he wins for the season, but I'm going to say it's 0.
yeah. And the only reason we're giving him this airtime is because he is a double world champion.
Well, he's a champion,
and he's a
exactly.
character, he's a personality.
That's right. And
Yeah.
we'll never forget the 68, what he did in 68 for that Lotus team. So he does deserve a bit of airtime. So the Matra team are also no longer on the grid this year, which is interesting. I mean, it was sort of on the cards when they lost their chassis, was it? I don't know, whatever. Which interestingly only leaves Ferrari, BRM, and a nobody team called Techno, who are not using Ford Cosworth engines. So everyone else is on the Ford Cosworth engines. Ferrari's got their own, and I think what's BRM got? I can't
They got
remember
their
now.
own engine.
And they got their own engine too.
That's what made them an interesting team. Yeah. So on to other driver changes. Peterson moved to Lotus to be joint number 1 with Emerson Fittipaldi.
Joint number 1. Oh, because that always works.
Yeah. that becomes interesting. Now let's not forget this is 73, so Fittipaldi's fresh off the championship in 72.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
they must have really thought highly of Peterson, but Peterson did really well.
He did.
To get that.
Yeah.
Lauda and Regazzoni signed with BRM.
That's interesting.
Yeah. And Ferrari were left with Ickx and Mazzario.
So Regazzoni left Ferrari then. I wonder if that ends up being a good move for him.
Well, I don't know if he left or was asked to leave.
Okay.
You know? But, I mean, if I was Regazzoni, I would be staying with Ferrari. Because
Yeah.
BRM haven't won a championship for 10 plus years.
Yeah. And
Where would you go?
Ferrari.
Would you go to?
Absolutely. I'd stay with Ferrari.
But don't forget, Ferrari's been
they've been in the wilderness. I know.
They haven't won since 64.
I know.
This is 73.
Been some very depressing years, Louis.
But you'd still stay with Ferrari, wouldn't you? But just because.
I don't know. BRM. Yeah, I don't know. Interesting. We will have to keep an eye on that for old Regazzoni.
Yeah, and we have a special occasion. We have the debut of the Brazilian Grand Prix, pretty much held in honour of the world champion Emerson Fittipaldi.
Yeah.
And so that's a big deal when they do that. And the Swedish Grand Prix is also making its debut.
Wow, we don't see the Swedish Grand Prix. I don't, since I started watching Formula One, Swedish Grand Prix has not been on the calendar.
No, so it's in the days when commercialism. Oh, but you know why Ronnie Peterson's Swedish?
Yes, he is.
So
yes.
It's a bit like it's like when Max Verstappen started to be successful in the 2020s. They brought back the Dutch Grand Prix, which had been mothballed for many, many decades. And suddenly the Dutch Grand Prix was back because they could fill that grandstand, no problem.
Yeah. All right.
Well, shall we go to our first race?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay. Race 1 of 15, the Argentinian Grand Prix. As usual at Buenos Aires, 28th of January. It's 96 laps and the weather was hot and humid. So we've opened up a little bit about the season, but let's talk about the bigger picture here before the first race, because Lotus, Tyrrell and Ferrari come into this season as the main title contenders. I don't know why Ferrari.
It's very generous for you to put Ferrari in there, but anyway.
Emerson Fittipaldi is fresh off his championship and was looking to defend his crown with Lotus, while Jackie Stewart and Tyrrell were determined to take it back, as you can imagine. I think Stewart had some issues in 70.
Yeah, Stewart had health issues, and then the Tyrrell, because they were trying out that new Tyrrell. So things, got away from him a bit at the end there.
And you're right, Ferrari shouldn't have been put in that first
No.
because they were hoping for a rebuild after a struggling 72.
Yeah, so practice was very exciting with Fittipaldi, Stewart and Regazzoni in his debut for BRM, all fighting for pole position. So far, Regazzoni's done a good... Well, it's not bad because Ferrari was third, I think. So Regazzoni eventually sealed it for pole. That's amazing. That is really good. Fittipaldi second for Lotus and Ickx third in the Ferrari.
That's very impressive for that Regazzoni.
I know.
To put it up Ferrari. Look at me. I suspect he was let go. I don't know.
Stewart was fourth and Peterson was fifth and Savert was sixth.
Ah, yes, I see where we're up to.
Yeah. So
do you want to go to the race start now?
Yeah, let's go to race start.
Okay.
Right. So, Regazzoni and Fittipaldi screamed to the first corner side by side, but then Savert rocketed through from third row to be level with them.
Okay, and that's where I was going to read this because I remember now. It's because the three then headed into the braking zone wheel to wheel because there's three of them.
Yeah, there's three of them.
Yeah, but I should have said six.
Yeah.
Six vertical lines of wheels. But somehow Savert squeezed through into the lead while Regazzoni held off Fittipaldi.
So at the next corner, though, Regazzoni dived through on the inside of Savert's Tyrrell to again regain the lead. Peterson, in the meantime, had closed up on Savert along with Fittipaldi. So this is an amazing start. Everyone is right up there. Yeah,
I guess they're all trying to make their mark early in the season. So Regazzoni started to slowly pull away, and from Savert and Stewart, who had a very poor start and was down to 7th or 8th, overtook Holm and then Ickx, and by lap 16 was in 4th place.
Wow.
So Stewart made a good comeback.
He did, but that's a bad start from him. He was what? He was 4th and then he was down in 8th.
Yeah. Took 16 laps to recover.
Okay, so now Regazzoni was having trouble with his Firestone tyres overheating because remember it was a really hot day. And he was finding it difficult to hold on to that 2-second lead he had built up over Savert, Fittipaldi, and Peterson was also chasing really hard on that leading group.
Yeah. So on lap 29, things got worse for Regazzoni and his tyres, and he had to let Savert through into the lead. I'm sure a driver must hate doing that when the tyres are going off,
Yeah,
especially so early in the race, to be honest.
I know. So meanwhile, your hero, Luigi, Mr. Stewart, he's caught up and passed Peterson, and he was now strongly challenging Fittipaldi, who was in third place.
Yeah, and then one lap later, Stewart was third. And then on lap 32, it became a Tyrrell 1-2 when Regazzoni lost 3 more places in 3 laps.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
So up front, it was the 2 black and gold Lotuses chasing the 2 dark blue Tyrrells.
Yeah. And they stayed in these positions until Stewart started having tyre issues with the slow puncture, which allowed Savert to pull away from him. Just a little, though.
On lap 76, Fittipaldi overtook Stewart for second place, so that slow puncture must have really slowed him down. He did it under braking, which was pretty good of him, and 5 laps later, Fittipaldi caught Savert and was trying to take the lead from him.
Wow. So Savert, however, had no intention of giving up his lead without a fight, and for 5 laps he defended every move until lap 86 when Fittipaldi, with a late break maneuver, charged into the lead. So that would have been very exciting to see lap 86 towards the end of the race.
Yeah, exactly. So Fittipaldi would go on to win by well over 4 seconds from Savert, and then Stewart was in third. So that slow puncture just canned his race. And X came home fourth. He was limping back with no fuel, but he came fourth.
Yeah. Not a bad effort for the Ferrari, right?
Yeah, that's not too bad.
After their 72 rebuild year, apparently. And a special shout out to Wilson Fittipaldi in the Brabham for finishing 6th for his first ever points in F1. So that's 2 brothers in points at the same time. And I think that might be the first time that ever happened.
I think so. Yeah. Yes. So, yeah, interesting race. Like, Pi has played a big part in this. I am still quite frustrated that we don't hear a lot about tyre strategy in the write-ups. Like, all you hear is, Firestone's not doing well but anyway.
Yeah, but they didn't have compounds. They didn't have slow, medium, hards. It was just wets and dries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so over to the championship table. Good start by the defending champ. He's leading on 9 points, Fittipaldi. Savert's in second on 6 points, and Stewart is in third on 4 points. And then we've got, sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I wonder why Jackie Stewart, double world champion at this stage. Yes. I wonder why Savert didn't wave him through.
Well, and I wonder why there weren't any team orders as well.
Yeah. Anyway.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Maybe he was like really far back in third. I don't know. Do you have like the timing tables there?
I can have a look. You keep going.
Yeah. So on the Constructors' Championship table, we've got Lotus Ford on 9 points, Tyrrell on 6 points, and Ferrari on 3 points.
Okay. And I'm just looking at it. Stewart was about 30 seconds behind.
Oh, yeah.
But he was himself about 10 seconds ahead of X. So there was room.
There was room.
It's not like he was holding.
Yeah.
He was having a battle with X and they couldn't do it. So.
I mean, but 30 seconds is a lot to kind of wait for your driver to, like your teammate, to catch up and let him through. I
think Stewart ethically wouldn't have.
No,
his ego would have been like, I'm a double world champion. I don't need this.
Yeah, I don't need that kind of help. Exactly.
I'm good enough. I'm better than that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so up to the second race of the season, the Brazilian Grand Prix. So this is the first Brazilian Grand Prix ever as a championship race anyway. So it's at Interlagos, which is where it is held in the 2020s to this day.
Yeah.
February 11, 40 laps, and the weather was hot and humid with intermittent rain. So the paddock arrived in Sao Paulo for the first ever race, a high-speed, bumpy, and physically punishing circuit.
Right, and it was Fittipaldi's homecoming. He was the reigning world champ. and he was looking to make history, I guess, in front of his home crowd. But he was also feeling a lot of pressure to perform and win. It must be so hard for drivers to drive at their home Grand Prix, I think.
Yeah, I think so. The attention, the
Yeah.
expectation. Yeah. So the Lotus team had spent several weeks testing at the circuit prior to give Fittipaldi the best possible chance of doing well at his home race, and it certainly paid off.
So teams aren't allowed to do that now, Louis, are they? Like
No, it's
you
all
can't,
controlled.
it's all
Yeah.
so controlled. Like I found that really interesting that they just got there and just tested at the track and set their car up, Just thinking that would never be allowed to do that today.
No, yeah. It's all about, if you've got the money and the time, go earlier and just do it. And they probably, because it was Fittipaldi, they're probably like,
Yes.
yes.
Yeah, they were trying to make his home race. So, yeah, both Fittipaldi and Peterson were visibly faster than anyone else and qualified 1-2. But it was Peterson ahead of Fittipaldi.
Interesting. And X lined up third. So that Ferrari's
Yeah.
Regazzoni in the BRM fourth. So he's,
He's still hanging around.
And the Tyrrells could only manage eighth and ninth. And the other Brazilian driver, Pache, put his Surtees on the third row and sixth, which is really good for that team.
Yeah, the Surtees, yeah. So when the flag fell on race day, Fittipaldi made just the kind of start he wanted in front of his home crowd, but it was Pache who stunned the field and he slotted in second. So where was he? He was sixth.
Sixth,
Jesus.
yeah.
He slotted in second with Stewart hot on their heels in third.
And now third from eighth or ninth. Pretty good. It's a great start by Stewart. And by lap 2, he was now second, as in Stewart was second, having overtaken Pache. And even Peterson overtook Pache, who was now struggling.
Okay. But Peterson was not happy with second, obviously. So, and he put a lot of pressure on Stewart. But on lap 6, his Lotus suddenly veered off course and spun into the guardrail, breaking off his right rear wheel.
Yeah. So Peterson stepped out of the car unhurt, and X was now up into third place.
And now we're going to hear about Holm. We haven't heard about Holm. He's in the
No.
McLaren. He qualified 5th. He was 13th after lap 1. So he must have had, he was bad. Something must have happened there.
A nonsense start.
A nonsense start.
I'd call that nonsense from 5th to 13th.
Absolutely, yes. He must have had something happen on the grid. But he had fought his way back to 6th.
Yeah. Okay. By quarter distance, though, Fittipaldi had opened up a 6-second lead over Stewart, and Stewart himself was also 6 seconds ahead of X, so starting to become a bit processional maybe.
Yeah, so the real interest was how Holm, who had now overtaken X for third. So apparently X had picked up a puncture from a broken glass bottle on the track.
So he pitted and came back in 8th, but he couldn't make ground back as the Ferrari mechanics had mistakenly fitted one of Mazario's spare narrower rim wheels to X's car.
Oh, no.
And I wonder how this impacted handling. And I didn't even know different rim cars could fit on different rim tires could fit on different cars.
I know, but what a massive mistake.
It
but
doesn't
so
happen
Ferrari.
too often.
It's so Ferrari. It's so Ferrari.
It's the first time we've heard this particular error.
Yes, this is true. Yes. So back to the lead, though. Fittipaldi was cruising, and by lap 30, he had a 15-second lead on Stewart, while Holm was well over a minute back from Stewart.
Yeah, and a lap down was Mazzario in the Ferrari ahead of his teammate X in 5th. Remember, X is on that comeback drive after that little debacle with the tyres.
Weird tyre. So, yeah, nothing's really changed for the remaining 10 laps of the race. I think there was a couple of retirements in the lower, the B, the Formula B, but that's really how they finished. So, yeah, Fittipaldi first, Stewart second, and Holm second and, Fittipaldi first, Stewart second, and Holm third.
So Fittipaldi led from flag to fag at his first home Grand Prix. And after 2 rounds, firstly, it's clear that Fittipaldi is the man to beat. And surely if Fittipaldi is winning the first ever Brazilian Grand Prix, there's got to be a statue or something there. This must be a dream come true for the organisers. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. Yes, I know. I don't know. Is there a statue? Do we know?
There
I don't
probably
think
is.
there is.
I haven't been there to see
We
it.
we have to Google that. Yeah.
Because
So yeah,
people hold, like, in Brazil, which is a very passionate Formula One loving
yes,
country. They hold Senna to a special
they
level.
do. I
But,
know. There's
but
lots of.
even Senna even held Fittipaldi up there.
He did.
Yeah,
Yes. There is another Brazilian driver that no one talks about.
yeah,
We'll get to him later.
yeah.
So the championship standings are Fittipaldi now on 18 points. Stewart's gotten up to second on 10 points. Severt's on 6. What happened to Severt in this race? We didn't even hear about him.
Yeah,
He
the
was
Tyrrells
he
were
was
pretty
down
absent,
the
except for
yeah.
Stewart. Yeah,
Stewart got back up, didn't he? And Holm was up there on in 6 points in that McLaren. And look, Jackie Ickx has made it to the top 5.
yeah. Good on him.
And
For
then
Ferrari.
in the constructors, we've got Lotus on 18, Tyrrell on 12, and McLaren and Ferrari joint on 6 points.
Okay.
We're going to leave it there, Louis?
Yeah, good opening start for 73. I'd say.
Yes. Interesting to see what happens. Like from this point on, you think Fittipaldi's on fire.
Oh yeah, he's defending champion. He's won the first 2 races. It's nailed on almost.
That's right. All right. Well, we might leave it there and come back with the next part.
Okay, bye everyone.
Okay. Bye.